Here's a story about the only perfect 100-point ride in bull riding history. And the crazy thing is that it wasn't even from an all-time legend like J.B. Mooney or Lane Frost or Donnie Gay or any of the other world champions. It's from a guy who never even made it to the national finals. But he still made history and also ended up overcoming tragedy later in his career. This goes back to 1991 in Central Point, Oregon. Wade Leslie, a cowboy from Washington State, got on a bull named Wolfman Skull. Now, Wolfman was a smaller bull, about 1,300 pounds, if you could call that small, but he was one of the best buckers on the PRCA circuit at that time. He was also a descendant of the legendary bull Red Rock, who battled Lane Frost. Years later, Leslie told a newspaper about how high of a bucker Wolfman was, especially right out of the chute, and also how he would spin around. He did a full 360 in the air, second time around, with Leslie on his back. The odd thing about riding a really ranked bull, as Leslie said, when you're doing everything right like he was that night, it actually is a pretty easy ride. He said it was like sitting in a rocking chair. Even so, a 100-point ride is hardly ever even considered in bull riding. There's the technical aspect of it, there's the toughness aspect of it, but also the interesting thing is that it's not just on the rider, it's also on the bull to have just as perfect of a performance. Whatever judges saw that night, they liked it. They gave 25 points to Wolfman Skull, 25 points to Leslie, did that 2 times over, adding up to 100 points. There was a little bit of controversy about this at the time. A lot of people thought that a 100-point ride should not even be a thing in bull riding. Again, all the factors that go into being perfect, 100 points is hardly ever even considered. Even anything in the upper 90s is considered very rare. And the other thing is that Leslie was not really an all-time legend or even a star at the time. He was a journeyman trying to make a living, ending up having one of the best nights, the best performances in rodeo history. And even after that ride, Leslie was only able to get up to 18th in the standings, not good enough to be in the top 15 to make the national finals rodeo. And Leslie's story took a sad turn in 2001. He was driving his truck in Montana, fell asleep, got into a wreck, rolled the truck, and became paralyzed from the waist down. And a lot of stories from that time about his recovery, obviously noting that he still was the only 100-point rider in bull riding history. But this story also kind of has a good ending. Pro Rodeo Magazine a few years ago did a story on Leslie talking about his recovery, his journey over the last 20-some years, how he got to a point where he's able to walk short distances. He has a silversmith business. He's involved in the outdoors. Also in 2012, the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame held a ceremony for Leslie honoring him as still the only 100-point rider in bull riding history.